Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm LaShonda from LaShonda's Creations. I know you guys can't see me, but I wanted to jump on and go over the things that I use to build a cake topper. This is the most commonly asked question I get, so there is a list on my website as well as in my group. If you're not in the group, go ahead and head over to Facebook and click join. Make sure you answer the questions and I'll accept you. Okay, here we go. So some of the most commonly used things that I use to build a cake topper. I'm going to go over basics and a shaker and lights. So I'm going to go over all those things. The first thing and the main thing is a cutting device. That could be a Cricut, it could be a Cameo, a Brother Skin Cut. I mean, the options are endless. It could be a Cricut Joy, a Cricut Extra. The possibilities are endless as far as like what machine you use. The second thing is going to be either a laptop device or an iPad that you guys can see over here in my corner. I like to design with my iPad. I'm not one that likes to design with the iPad. I like my laptop. However, when I'm making an order, my iPad is here for educational purposes. I'll be sitting here watching my TV show while I'm making you guys' toppers for orders or putting together files or whatever I'm doing. I got something planned while I'm making it. So this is cardstock. The cardstock can vary depending on what you're making and how thick and how sturdy you want it to be. Typically I use 65-pound cardstock and 80-pound cardstock. I just grabbed a few colors. Of course, the colors would depend on whatever it is that you're making. So if you're, doing Sonic, then it's like blue, gold, red. So it just based on the themes that you're using. So these is just a few colors I grabbed from my stash, just to show you guys. And if you haven't seen cardstock before, it has much heavier weight than regular paper. So this is typically the base. Okay. This is that clear film that give us the window when we're making a shaker. I'm going to take this out so you guys can see it. So this is that clear film. So this is that give it that window look. Okay. So that's what this is. And it looks, looking at the camera, it looks kind of dark, but it's clear. It's see-through. Okay. So this is if you're doing a shaker. This is what you need. And I cut this using my Cricut. You can also cut that using your Cameo, your Cricut Joy, whatever cutting device you have. When I'm using my Cricut and I'm cutting this, I go to custom, and in custom there's a section that says acetate. So this is what this is called. It's called acetate, and that's the setting I use to cut the acetate paper. Okay. So of course you guys, well, not of course, but I'm going to show you guys my hot glue gun. Do not judge me, guys, because my hot glue gun has been through it. This is a Sherbond. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is the hot glue gun that I use. So this is also a very important part of putting together toppers as well as these glue sticks. So that's another very important thing. So I know people are going to ask, why do you need scissors? Scissors is going to be the next thing that I have on my list. And even though we have a Cricut or a Cameo, whatever cutting device we're using, we still need scissors to cut things, you know, like we can be using it to cut our foamies and things like that. So we still need scissors. So that's where, and make sure you get you a nice sharp pair of scissors. I got these on Amazon. They were 10 bucks. So make sure you get you a nice sturdy pair of scissors. All right. The next thing is I'm going to talk about is the foam tape. I call these foamies, but they're called foam tape. And you guys can get these from me, or you can just look on Etsy, Amazon. There's lots of people that sell foamies. So these are just a few I grabbed just for the sake of the video. I grabbed some white, I grabbed blue, and I grabbed some 5mm. These are the thick ones. I grabbed the 5mm of the strips. So these are used if I'm using, like if I'm making like a circle and I'm doing a window, then I'll use these because I don't want my foamies to show. So I'll use these when I'm doing like a shaker. So we'll go over that as I'm putting together videos. I'll go into more detail as far as how I use these. This is only what works for me. Everybody have their own way and style of doing everything. So that's that. The next thing I'm going to show you guys is these clear acrylic sticks. Now you guys can get wood dowels. I didn't even get a chance to go and buy any just to show you guys. I don't use dowels. I use these. These can be found on Amazon. They come in, I also use these for my cupcake toppers. For the longest time, I was using toothpicks for cupcake toppers, and you still can. These just give a better look to me, but toothpicks, where, you know, is the way we've been doing it for the longest. So you can't go wrong with toothpicks. But these, when I'm doing cupcake toppers, I get them in 4-inch. These right here are 8-inch. You can get them 10-inch depending on how wide and how tall your topper is, as well as how long you're going to stick it in the cake. So when you stick it in the cake, you know, how far do you want it to go down? So keep all those things in mind. And typically with this glass I have on my table, I line it up by using these lines. So when I'm gluing my cake topper to the back, this is how I line it up. I make sure these sticks are straight. So if they're straight on here, then they're straight on my topper. So that's how I usually figure out where I'm going to put them. Let me know if that doesn't make sense to you guys, and I'll do another video explaining what I mean by that. But these are the topper, the sticks. These came from Amazon. This is a 200 piece. Once again, these are the 8 inches. I use 4 inches for cupcake toppers. So these are the 8 inches. This is the photo paper that I use. It is the Koala brand, the Inkjet glossy photo paper. It is 48 pounds and it's 100 sheets, 8.5 by 11. So this is what I have. And with this glossy photo paper, if you guys can see, like this part is shiny. This side is shiny, it's glossy, and this part is dull. I don't know if it's picking up in the camera, but glossy. Then this is the part where we print our photos, our images, so it can have that pop of color. And this is the dull side. So with the printer I have, when I'm inserting my printer, I put it in glossy side down. But you have to, you know, look at the printer you have and go by that. But this is the paper that I use. All right. Another another question I get a lot is, what kind of glue do I use? Well, my favorite glue when I'm doing a cake topper is Bearly Art. This is this. And Beacon 3-in-1. This is found, both of these can be found on Amazon. I can put links, but I'm not affiliated with either company. I just like their products, so I use what works for me. These are what works for me, so I use it. But once again, I'm not affiliated, so I don't have any affiliation links, but I will put links to these products in the description. Let's see, shakers. So these are what's called balloon lights, and these are the little lights that we put in the cake topper to make them light up. And it comes with these little tabs in the back that you turn it off. So, and you just stick that in there. Now, based on the color, that's what color it is. So this one lights up blue, so the tab is blue, if you guys can see that. So this one is blue. So based on how whatever color is the color it lights up. Now I do have some that flash, so the tab is red, it lights up red. Now I do have some that flickers different colors, but they're all just mixed in. And to be quite honest, when I'm looking for one that flash, I literally dump out a handful and I'll just pull them out. I know there's a better way, but if I'm looking for something that flicker, I mainly use the solid lights more than the ones that flicker. So, but these are also found on, you guessed it, Amazon. These little acrylic cups or things I have them in, these are also, once again, found on Amazon. So Amazon should hire me because I buy everything off of Amazon, okay? So these are the balloon lights that I use. And depending on the size of the cake topper and the thing that the client is looking for, I typically use 1 to 2, can use 3, depending on how wide and what definitions you are looking for, or what character details you're looking for. So these are the balloon lights. Let's see. One other thing is, if you guys look over here, this is my wall of stuff. So I have all these different things, and this is what I use to put into my shakers. So I have this, I have this. This is all the stuff, the confetti that I use for my shakers. So all of this stuff you guys see here is what I'm using. And once again, it's based on color. It's based on the theme that I'm doing. So all of this is what I'm using to put inside my cake toppers for the shaker parts. This is what I'm using. Before I started buying this, what I used to do is, before Joann's closed, what I used to do is I would go to Joann's and I would buy these little things on clearance. That's what you guys see all right here. I have seed beads that I use, and this is just for the noise, like the shaker, when you're shaking it. Hear that? So that's what all this stuff is. And I was just using what worked. Everybody have their own preference, I understand. I'm just simply telling you guys what works for me. So these are seed beads. I used to buy these in different colors before Joann's closed. These I would get at Joann's for like 89 cents on clearance. Hear that? So I will buy these in different colors, you know, like green. This is like a peach. So this is like pink. I don't know what these things called, but like I said, I used to get these from Joann's. This is them as well. They're called diamond dots. Yeah, they're called diamond dots. So this is what I used to get from Joann's prior to them closing. And if I'm working on something and I need something to put into a shaker, I'll just look at what I have here. I do have glitter that I put in there, but this came as like a pack and it has different colors. It has like white, orange, hot pink, yellow, and green. Yellow and green. So this come together, and I bought, like I said, I bought this from Joann's before they closed. And these are some of the things that I use in my shakers. Just depends on, you know, what look I'm going for and how much the client is paying for the topper and everything like that. And I used to stack up different, well, these are the same colors, but they have these in all different kinds of colors, so I would stack up on these. And as you guys can see, I have a whole bunch right here. These ones were bought single. These ones were bought in the pack. So that's what I use there. And even these little things, also, it have little stuff like this would be cute for like a little mermaid thing. So yeah, these are the little things that I use when I'm doing the toppers. What have I not talked about? We talked about glue, cardstock. So now I think I have ran down all the important things of doing toppers. However, if there's something that I forgot to speak about, I did not mention, if you guys have questions, please go ahead and like, share, and comment, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, guys. Over the last month, I have gained 100 subscribers, so I thank you, all from the bottom of my heart, for all the love and the support. So if you guys have questions, you guys can DM me. Make sure you join my Facebook group. I'm very active in there. If you have questions, drop questions below this video. I'll make sure I come back and answer. And if you guys just need help with anything, links to where you can purchase something, and just let me know. And there is one thing I did forget that I want to show you guys. So I'm going to put this here. So the thing I forgot is this. So this is the Sizzix. This is a embossing machine, and this is used to add details to like the numbers or the names or the topper themselves when you're creating your toppers. So that's what this is. It's the Zig Zig brand, and it is the Big Shot Plus. So I forgot to tell you guys about this. And also, if you guys are printing images, like, you know, pictures of people or characters, you guys need a printer. Obviously, I forgot about that. So yeah, it just depends. But I think for the main part, I did hit on all the main important things for doing toppers. I know that one of the most commonly asked question I will get is where I got my foamies from, or this acetate, or what setting I cut it on. So once again, this is acetate. I bought it from Amazon, and I cut it on custom settings on my Cricut, and I go and I cut on acetate, because that's one of the questions people always ask, is where I get it and how do I cut it. So but yeah, that's all I wanted to jump on. But these little spoons too, these are what I use to, these little spoons are what I use to kind of like go inside here and just get a spoonful and sprinkle some into the topper. So I'll just like get a spoonful, dump it in there, get a spoonful. So these little spoonfuls is what I use to get the sprinkles out, and it don't stick or anything like that. So this is what I use, and of course you can just sprinkle, you know, but I use these little spoons. But all right, so this is a pre-recorded video, so I can't ask you guys if you guys have any questions, so my apologies. But if you guys have questions, please do make sure you like, comment, and share, and make sure you are a subscriber and hit that notification bell, so when I drop new content, you guys are aware and notified when I drop new content. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.